Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen. It is for me really today a great pleasure, an honor to be here for the official opening of this Inspire Conference 2013. And I really would like to refer to the subtitle of this conference, The Green Renaissance. Knowing the history of this city and of this region, I believe that not a more appropriate venue could have chosen for a conference with such a title. Inspire actually interprets nowadays the Green Renaissance as supporting innovation and growth. And from the message given by the Director General, we have listened that not only Italy, but I can add all the European countries and the world, I would say, we are really under a crisis and we need to boost our innovation and growth. In fact, Inspires can do this, being a directive of 2007 and being a key of legislation that provides the framework to collect, harmonize, organize the dissemination and the use of special information in the European Union. Inspire facilitates national and also European Union level initiative to become interoperable. I like also to add that Inspire is linked on the Public Access Directive to environmental information and on the use of the public sector information by their complementary objectives regarding the efficient public data use, the transparencies in decision-making, and the open access to public information. The origin of Inspire, I think that all of you knows better than me because this is my first conference I participate as director of the Institute for Environment and Sustainability. It's going back to the early 90s when public and private services start to use geographical information system, the so-called GIS, with digitized topographical maps with various layers of information. And then we have this development opened up, huge possibility to combine geographical data and maps into spatial data information, the SDI, for urban planning, resource management, environmental impact assessment, location planning, or crisis intervention, just to mention a few examples. However, there were problems with quality, organization, accessibility, and sharing of data because the lack of agreement on standards. And at that time made it cumbersome and sometimes impossible to combine data sets across the borders. EU has solved many of these standardization issues through Inspire's legal framework for harmonized spatial data. It created the appropriate condition for having harmonized and high quality spatial geographical information readily available across different public authorities and the different sectors in the European Union at local, regional, national and European level. On the other side, the JRC, the Joint Research Center of the European Union, with its experiences and as pioneering user and producer of GIS and geospatial data, has been at the top of spatial data since the 1980s, when Earth observation satellites created a rapid increase of geospatial and digitized maps. Major activity and initiative to harmonize the spatial data were with the United States and Europe go back to the 1994 when the announced a national spatial data policy framework infrastructure of the European Commission was launched, and this was called Geographic Information in Europe, the so-called GI 2000 initiative, that finally evolved to Inspire. So nowadays we are here, after 13 years, more or less, and we are in a very extremely important point for this Inspire directive. And together with the Environment Director General of the European Union, that is the policy behind the Inspire directive, the Joint Research Center takes a central role overall technical coordination, and later Eurostat in the Commission service will take over the operations. But I would like also to point out something on open data that Inspire can help, because it has been said by the precedent speakers. And I would like to remember that during the last meeting of the G8 last week, the G8 agreed that open data are an untapped resource with huge potential to encourage the building of stronger, more interconnected society that better meet the needs of our citizens and allow innovation and prosperity flourish. And I believe that it's also worth to highlight that the G8 Open Data Chart of only some days ago outlines that the principle that will be foundation for the access and release and reuse of data made available by G8 governments are open data by default, quality and quantity, usable by all, releasing data for improved governance, releasing data for innovation. And I think that this declaration actually very well match with the goal of this conference. I will not done. I would like to outline that Inspire should be considered a community, not only a framework that is very technical. And here in these slides, you can see summarize actually the support that we can have for all member states. And I know that in April or March, I don't remember exactly, but I think April, there was a very important conference, or March, was a very important conference in Brussels called by member states to discuss about Inspires. This is a very important sign that the European Union gets, and the Commission also. That means that the member states are very well committed. We have here listened the voice of Italy, and I can tell you that I participate in one conference in the Netherlands, and I listened also the voice of the Dutch. At the beginning, they said Inspire was a bit considered troublemaking directive, but now they are very happy that they can have this directive and they can use for their development. And the President Hollande in France, for instance, has declared very recently that he will use Inspire for the planning of the urban development. Then, I will not go in details, but you can see the progress of the implementation of Inspire. My colleagues has also presented before the involvement of Italy in this development. We have the chapter of the metadata per Inspire special directive and the different annex. And the directive is still, the regulation is still ongoing, but the last rules of implementation will be at the end of the year. There's been now due to the development of these implementation rules that will be completed at the end of this year. Actually, we have a committee has been, a commission has been set up for the Inspire maintenance and implementation framework. And this commission is based on the principle to maintain the participatory approach. So that means to involve all the Inspire stakeholders. And that was also used for the development of the legal acts and the technical guidelines. And then any maintenance of the legal acts and the technical guidelines really should be based on implementation experience that we have in member states. We want to ensure the cross-cutting coherence of the legal acts and the technical guidelines, and this commission is composed of a group of experts, and will consist of high-level experts from all the member states. And this commission also will listen the voice of all the stakeholders, and I know that the call for participation has been published in the website of this conference. So my message to you is to register in order to put also your voice in the list. I would like now to show an example of the application of Aspire, and here you can see the pilot study on the air quality. This pilot study consists of the creation of an Aspire-based reporting for the member states to satisfy their quality reporting obligations. Do you know that there is now the revision of the directive on the air quality, and this has been this pilot study has been organized in collaboration with Director General Environment and also with the European Topic Center for Air Quality of the European Environment Agency in Copenhagen. The aim is to apply INSPIRE, and not only INSPIRE, but also the Shared Environmental Information System, the SAIS, principle to air quality of e-reporting, and under the requirements of the Directive 2004. This directive, for those who are not informed, is related to the arsenic, cadmium, mercury, nickel, and polycycle aromatic hydrocarbons in the air. And then the other directive is the directive of the 2008 that is related to the quality of the air ambient and the clean air for Europe, and of the European Parliament and of the Council, and is referred as a reciprocal exchange of information on reporting on quality of air. So what we do is in this pilot study, we use the INSPIRE data specification that are related to the air quality. We study how these link in real time the data and the cross-board, and one of cross-board example that has been taken is between Belgium and the Netherlands. And we support member states in the identification of free open sources and the solution to help in the reporting, and we do capacity building for the INSPIREs. As I mentioned before, INSPIREs is also a key point for the innovation and growth. In fact, it gives particular attention to the small and medium enterprise, and the JRC is a partner for the Small Medium INSPIRE project that facilitates the transfer of knowledge to the small and medium enterprise. We want to make a benefit for business, and then, as I told you, this SME INSPIRE project is one competitive action of the 7 framework program. And the goal is to turn the challenge of the INSPIRE implementation into business opportunity for the geospatial information and communication technology. And the purpose of this project is to encourage and enable the participation of the small and medium enterprise in the mechanisms of harmonization and making large environmental content available. So, there are 4 main expected results for this project, and is the assessment of the market potential for the small and medium enterprise in relation to INSPIRE as an integral component of the digital agenda of the European Commission. and describing obstacles for the small and medium enterprise to enter in the market in terms of knowledge and gaps. Then, the question that this project would like to answer is, what are the main characteristics of the geo-information communication sector in Europe? How is the geo-information communication sector in Europe currently involved in the implementation of the INSPIRE directive? Do the geo-ICT companies in Europe have the skills and the knowledge to participate in the implementation of the INSPIRE directives? And finally, does INSPIRE already have an impact on the innovative performance of the geo-ICT companies in Europe? So you see that really this directive is implemented, and if this project can reach these 4 goals, INSPIRE is really a green renaissance for Europe, because it can give really a boostering to the growth and innovations that we need to have. Here I would like to share with you some results from a survey that we have performed relevant to the impact of INSPIRE. And you can see that this survey has been made in the framework of this project. And there's been a survey that included 250 companies in 12 countries and reveals actually a good opportunities available for information and growth arising from INSPIRE. In fact, you can see that the occurred information and the companies that already knows about INSPIRE and their skills for implementation is minimum 30%, but is foreseen in the different sectors, is foreseen to reach up to 80 mostly. And then, as I told you before, I think that we can I can say something more. Yeah, the conference on safety, mobility, and sustainability that was in March in organized in Brussels, I think. Yes, no, in Brussels by member states, Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and United Kingdom, and this gives a good example how the directive is very well received by our member states and is actually used for implementations. But INSPIRE can also go through the digital agenda, and one of our digital agenda is the support to interoperability of public administrations and open data that, as I mentioned before, reusable data, and the INSPIRE platform can become really a kind of platform. And the JRC is supporting the implementation, maintenance, and evolution of this INSPIRE within the context of the cross-border interoperability associated with the EU's interoperability solution for European Public Administration Program. This program, I can tell you, facilitates efficient and effective cross-border electronic collaboration between European public administrations by helping to establish a common approach that will make a collaboration more easier. So sharing and reusing tools such as a common platform and common component, along with the sharing of service like common infrastructures, will also play a part by keeping costs down and reducing time to market. And we have also 2 projects funded under the program, the European Union Location Framework and the Reusable INSPIRE Reference Platform. And legal and organization interoperability issues in enhancing data and service has been addressed in the phase of this project, and the other project focus more on the implementation aspects. But both projects are currently involving in engaging stakeholders. And with the first project, we are looking for inputs on how the framework can develop, develop. And the other project is identifying through a survey tools supporting the Inspire implementation, missing items, and what reusable components could be developed with the cross-sector and the cross-border interoperability in mind. And other policy that we can have is the Intelligent Transport System, for instance, directive that is in force since August 2010. And the objectives of this directive include the development of specification and standards focused on the interoperability and continuity. Practically, the specification shall include requirements to make road, traffic, and transport service data used for digital maps accurate and available, where possible, to digital map producers and service providers. And this is based on availability of existing road and traffic data used for digital maps, facilitation of electronic data exchange between the relevant public authorities and stakeholders and the private digital map producers and service providers, timely updating of road and traffic data for digital maps, and timely updating of the digital maps, and where the Spire can provide a comprehensive framework for sharing harmonized spatial data. And the working group has been also, in the context of this directive, currently assessed the use of the Inspire data specification. So this is really another example showing how the directive can be of high importance for the member states. The new direction in the digital science are we spoke already a lot of multidisciplinary and interoperability, but we have the citizen science and the sensor web for citizen, and we are looking now at a project that can involve citizen more in science, as for instance, give the citizen the possibility to assess the quality of the air they breathe, to assess, to track the waste, and so on, and to be more critical with the implementation of the directive and to make up their voice as stakeholders. So this is something that we are working on, and we would like that the citizen acquire a conscience of to be responsible of their own patrimony that is this planet. And the other important things are the open data, the big data, and I think this is one of the major issues that has been already mentioned. I already mentioned it when I started my speech today. And I think that Inspire will be one of the main tools for creating this platform for open data and reuse and availability of data. And I think that I am at the end of my presentations, and I strongly reiterate that I believe that the use of the open data will bring forward a new era from the Europe, and I wish to say that this new era could be the green renaissance. And all of you are here this week to start with this green renaissance in this nice city. So I wish you a fruitful conference, and I hope I will be very interested to learn more about the outcomes from this conference, about your decision. But I wish you also to enjoy of this nice city and the story that is behind this nice city where you have convened for this entire week. Thank you.